Hey, we gotta get to Alina Habba. Yeah, she's something else, boy.
Oh,
That's
she's
it.
a
That's one.
Spitfire.
By the way, that's one beautiful lady. That's one beautiful lady, and she doesn't hold back. She
Mm.
doesn't hold back. Let's take a listen to this. Now, the title of this one is Trump's lawyer Alina Habba goes off on Latina. I mean, we spoke about this lady.
Latia
She blew her
James.
own case when we talk about that with Liberal Have Mine when you brought that video to the channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She went on record talking about. He's like, "You're not supposed to be saying this out loud." By the
Lady,
way,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
you are nutty. All right, let's take a listen.
I'm not here to hear what he has to say. That was what rang true, loud, and could not have been more honest, coming from the judge who was already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. Then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom? The answer is very clear. Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself. She said this morning that the numbers don't lie and they won't lie in this case. Well, Miss James, I have a message for you. The numbers didn't lie when you ran for governor, and that's why you dropped out. And the numbers don't lie when President Trump runs for office in 2024. And those numbers are loud and clear. This country is falling apart. And if we don't stop corruption in courtrooms where attorneys are gagged, where attorneys are not allowed to say what they need to say to protect their clients' interests, it doesn't matter what your politics are. Everyone has a right in this country to get up and put a defense. I don't care who you are. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can put objections on the record. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong. But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear. I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it here. And you know what? You shouldn't either. Because not every American citizen gets a camera and a microphone. And what I'm seeing is such a demise of American judicial system and democracy. Miss James came out this morning and said that she knew Mr. Trump. She always calls him Mr. Trump because it kills her that he was the president. But the 45th president of this country, one of the best presidents we've had, has built a great company. It's worth a ton more than that statement of financial condition. And she doesn't know how to get out of it because her politics won't allow her. She calls him a bully. She says he's going to bring out racial slurs. He's going to say things today and taunt her. Well, Miss James, you taunted him. Before you came into office, before you saw one record, one statement of financial condition, you taunted him. You said his administration was too male and too pale. Those are her words. She said that she and Michael Cohen were going to be his biggest nightmare. Well, I have some news for you, Miss James. Michael Cohen folded, lied, and crumbled. Your star witness, along with all the DAs and corrupt AGs, need to be paying attention to what happens when you let us take the stand. When you let my client speak the truth, and the judge can tell me to sit down, and he can try and shorten my client's testimony, but it is loud and clear. They've got nothing. They've got nothing but their politics. She's got nothing but her Soros backing, which we discovered recently. And I am sick and tired of seeing it. Pay attention, America. Pay attention. Because when you're in court one of these days, and you don't have a lawyer that has a microphone, and you don't have a lawyer that can go on TV, and you've got judges gagging them, what are you going to do? We need to fix this country.
I need to hear that again. Let me tell you something. This one just hit the spot for me.
And you don't have a lawyer that has a microphone recently. And I am sick and tired of seeing it. Pay attention, America. Pay attention. Because when you're in court one of these days and you don't have a lawyer that has a microphone and you don't have a lawyer that can go on TV and you've got judges gagging them, what are you going to do? We need to fix this country. And we need to stop what is happening in this courtroom. President Trump is worth a lot more and she wasn't ready for it. She doesn't understand it. And before she rushed to judgment, she should have thought about attacking somebody with over 50 years of real estate expertise who changed single-handedly the skyline of New York City. She picked the wrong person. Her politics will fail for it. Now,
I can listen to this lady all day. There's some people on my channel, when they're talking, you don't distract them. She's one of them. When she's talking, it's like, shut up, bro. Just listen.
Right? I told you, she is a spitfire.
Don't pause. Don't pause. Just listen. Shut up and listen, because, boy, oh my Lord, I love it.
She got something to say.
She's got guts, bro. She's got guts. You got the wrong girl, buddy.
This is one woman you do not want to mess with.
No. Here's the thing: our politicians are crazy, boy, and the justice system is failing, man. And you can see the nature of this thing in the way that they treat Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a good look. That is
the judge, like she said, the judge and the DA already made up their minds before he even got into court.
Wow.
And why don't they want this court proceeding televised? Most every other court proceedings televised.
Well, you will see the injustice that is happening to Trump, and that's been my argument too. It's kind of like the anti-Trumpers don't seem to understand this. That same dog that is biting Trump's leg right now will turn around and bite you in the neck, because you may think, oh, it's Trump, he deserves it. I did a video about Sean King, Sean King, who has been banned on Instagram, and he came out and really upset. Mm-hmm. And he wrote an article in 2011 talking about how I'm for free speech, but banning Donald Trump and white supremacists is a good thing. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, buddy, one day they're gonna come get you. And guess what? They did. They came and get him, especially when it comes to Israel and Palestine situation. And
it's the old adage, I didn't complain when they went and got my neighbor. I didn't complain when they came and got my son.
Yeah.
But when they came to get me, who was there to stick up for me?
Let me look it up. I love that. I know you made reference to that one before. Let me find it. Yeah. They came. Yeah, when they came for the Jews, I said nothing when they came.
Yeah. I may be misquoting it, but
this was done by a pastor, by the way. You're right. I mean, I get the point. This was a minister that was preaching Neo Muller. So here it is. There it is. You can go ahead and read that.
First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. And then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
They've come for Trump. They came for Trump. We don't want to speak out, right? Because we're not MAGA. And then they came for you. And I'm telling you, and this is how you have to look at it, man. Even when you disagree with someone, you might not like what somebody's doing, but don't ever take away their freedom. Don't ever think it's okay to watch the person's freedom being stripped away. No. Don't ever think that's okay. Because the same people taking away their freedom will come back and take away your freedom.
Exactly.
Because the beast is never satisfied. That monster is never happy.
And that's the whole thing behind cancel culture is it's a never-ending, hungry beast that constantly needs to be fed, and it will devour its own.
Yes. It's just one of those, how does Peter said it, like Peter has a way that he puts it, I think it's 1 Peter chapter 5, and he speaks about how like we ought to be sober and be vigilant because I think it's verse 17.
I thought I saw it there. I think you passed it.
Yeah. There it is. Verse 8.
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, is a roaring lion, walking walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
Exactly. So that's like that hungry beast, which is behind the scene. The real person the real entity that hates freedom is Satan himself.
Mhm.
Is definitely not for everybody having the right to even think. He doesn't even believe you should have the right to even have a conscience. But and you can see like this is being displayed carefully in the way that they're treating Donald Trump. And people who think like you should just shut your mouth and let this happen because it's happening to Trump. I'm here to tell you, friends, you next. You next.
And
You know,
and it just gives even more credence to the whole meme where you see Donald Trump sitting there pointing finger and he says, "They're not really after me, they're after you. I'm the only thing standing in the way."
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, um, not to over spiritualize the matter, and we understand what's happening to Trump is completely wrong. But what's happening to Trump is a type of what's going to happen to Christians, especially those of us who are serious about following Jesus as much as we want to, as the Holy Spirit is leading us into the truth. But it tells us that the time is coming when they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and they shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall be offended and shall betray one another, um, and shall hate one another.
Mhm.
We oftentimes read stuff like this. We think, oh, that's just the past. No, yeah, it happened to the disciples. It surely did.
Mhm.
I got news for you. It's going to happen again. But most
History's going to
prophecies,
repeat itself.
that's right. Most prophecies has a double application. There we go. History is always repeats itself. And what happened to the early apostles, and you can be certain this is going to happen to the Christians in the last days. And I think when you look at Trump's case, you can kind of see like, yo, if you're doing this to a former president, yo, that is crazy. And I had shared the thought like when Twitter banned Trump, like from speaking on January 6th, they banned his channel.
No, they
I'm
banned
like,
him before then.
yeah, I think before that, there's a January, was it before that?
Yeah, it was before January 6th.
That is crazy. That's even worse. But here's the thing. I said, you don't ban a sitting president. What in the world is wrong with you? Like, are you serious?
Mhm.
You don't ever do that. Even if you were saying the worst things in the world.
Right.
You can't, is the president.
And you look at
The arrogance
Joe,
of these people, they should be behind bars.
you look at
Our system
JB,
protects that.
he can't barely put two sentences together and they haven't banned him yet.
No, no. You have Chinese government unbanned. You have Iranian
ISIS, Taliban.
people who are talking about death to America unbanned. Well, you talk about a sitting president in the country in which you live. You
Mhm.
ban him. I'm like, yo, that disrespect is extreme. And I said, that is scary though, because if you're willing to do this to a man like Trump, what are you gonna do to me?
Mhm.
Tell you what, boy. Jesus has a way that he said it. He said, if they have done this to the green tree, what shall they be done to the dry? It's one of those things. It's kind of like, and if they done this to me, who is Christ, the Yahshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, the Savior of the world, if they done this to him, what are they gonna do to you? It's like,
And he also said, "Remember, when the world hates you, they hated me first."
he hated me first. Scary thought, but that's the world in which we live. But be encouraged. All of these things that are happening, they're happening under God's watch, so we don't have to be afraid. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes.
Mhm. She gonna bring the heat.
We are now over a month deep into the biggest waste of New York taxpayer dollars I've ever seen. President Trump's statement of financial condition was so undervalued. But Letitia James, as you've seen, will show up when it's a press day. I said it yesterday on the news. She hasn't been here for days, but you know when she's going to come? When the main event's here, and that is Trump. She piggybacked on Trump to get into office. She didn't do it well enough to be a governor. She was a failed gubernatorial candidate. And now she's working on her politics again. She shows up, sits in the back when she should be doing real work because the city of New York has fallen apart. If you are a business in New York, pay attention. You put your value. If President Trump wanted to inflate his net worth on a statement of financial condition, his brand alone could double, triple it. It's basic. It's basic. This is a waste of time. We heard testimony from an expert this week. Ms. James wasn't here for that day because it wasn't good for her. He's been paid by New York taxpayer dollars $450,000 in the past few months to come here and testify. That's your money. That's not my money. It is a crime. And now these children are being brought in away from their families for doing nothing wrong. It's a great company. It has always been a great company. It's worth a lot more than the statements say, and she just doesn't like it. And now her politics don't allow her to back off or back down. And it's unfortunate, but this case should be done. We are wasting our time. Thank you.
Boy, she had fire in her eyes, boy. She had fire in her eyes.
Oh yeah, she's
Fearless.
got fire in her eyes. She got fire in her gut, and she is not afraid to spit.
Boy, she doesn't play that game. She doesn't play that game. It's crazy, man. They're wasting people's money and time and just going after a political opponent because you don't like him. Just say it. You don't like the man and you know he's going to win and you think it's a problem to your system.
Mhm.
Just admit it and be done with it so we can actually just move on with the votes.
Yeah.
But they won't say that. But they want to create something out of nothing. Pathetic.
Then the one last clip of her that I wanted you to show.
Okay, what is it?
That it was, I believe it was at 17:55 of the long clip.
Okay. Gotta pull that up again. Oh, 17:55. You want me to move to 17 minutes?
Yes. In like 17:55. It's gonna be a night. Yeah, right there.
Good evening. So let's talk about one thing that the press hasn't reported. We just listened to testimony from a man who has such distinct recognitions as an accounting expert that even Letitia James's team and the OAG's team used him themselves as an accounting expert. Professor Bartob was the New York Attorney General's expert in the Exxon case. Let's start there. But today, when he was on the other side, they spent the entire day objecting because he was giving testimony that didn't suit their claims. His testimony included that there was absolutely, and I quote, no fraud, that the statement of financial condition for President Trump was understated, that there was no evidence of concealment, and that in fact, President Trump's statements of financial condition had something that most other statements of financial condition don't have. 18 pages of descriptions and details about his properties, about his trophy assets, things that most people don't need to do and wouldn't do. The reason, because he had nothing to hide and he didn't conceal anything. This is not a publicly traded company. This is a private company. And the Attorney General is now sticking her nose into private companies. This is a very scary moment for our country. We have to have boundaries. We have to have laws. They were objecting every 5 minutes. And I really give credit today to the press that was in there. I did look at some of the feed and it was accurate. There was absolutely no fraud. The statements were undervalued. And President Trump and the Trump Organization provided Deutsche Bank with everything they needed. Last week, we heard banks make clear that they thought they were a trophy client. They were the big whale that they wanted to get, and they valued their relationship. They said that holds true today. I don't know why we're here. I've said it before, and I say it again. Again, this case has absolutely no merit, and you don't have to believe me. A man that gives the Nobel Executive Committee recommendations on accounting and who should be recognized in accounting. That man that just sat in there for the entire day made it very clear and had words with the AG and said, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I say it too. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you. I'm not going to speak about privileged information. At this time, the president is looking forward to taking the stand and once again making clear that he cooperated, he performed on his loans, they were paid ahead of schedule in some instances, always on time, and he was never in default. But somehow Miss James needs to fulfill her political promise. So we're here, and he'll be addressing all of that on Monday. Don't forget, though, he's going on Monday with the judge's gag order still in place, so he can't speak about certain things. He has to be so careful. That is so unconstitutional, in my opinion. We have First Amendment rights. We have rights as attorneys, Sixth Amendment rights, and those are all being violated. And he still wants to take the stand, even though my advice is at this point, you should never take the stand with a gag order. But he is so firmly against what is happening in this court and so firmly for the old America that we know, not this America, that he will take that stand on Monday. The same as we've heard, from experts. He will clarify it. He will open himself up to whatever they want because he's not afraid. People that are afraid cower. President Trump doesn't cower. We'll be back on Monday with that, and tomorrow we'll hear more testimony from this incredibly intelligent man. I think he made it clear. It's more frustration that we have wasted time, that they are doing election interference. This is a tactic that we've seen time and time again. This is not the first or last of it. We're going to have to deal with it in all the other trials. But I really hope this is a lesson to those other AGs and DAs out there trying to make a name for themselves off of President Trump's back. If you're going to do it with garbage claims, it's going to come out because there are experts willing to put their heads out, willing to put their necks out, and willing to say that this is garbage. And we heard that today, the entire day, and we will hear that well into tomorrow. I don't speak about politics. I'm a lawyer. Yeah. The outcome of this case was determined before we walked into court. Let's be clear. We're not walking into this court every day expecting that this judge is going to let us off. We already see what's happened in this court. This judge made his determination on summary judgment before we even walked in, before an expert took the stand. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not here fighting for that. I'm here fighting for America with him so that we can stop this. You know, that's the truth of it. And it's a very sad state of affairs. Today and many days we've asked for a directed verdict because there is no case. This case is garbage. Thank you.
Girl. Oh, boy. She's something else, boy. I mean, he has a... Okay, Trump comes in at the end. Let's take a listen to that. Wow, she's something else.
And another person who's a warrior. She happens to be a beautiful woman, but I never think about that because I never talk about beauty. To me, I can see the most beautiful woman in the world. It doesn't register with me at all. Beauty doesn't matter. But she's beautiful, but she's a great lawyer. And she's been a tremendous protector of a lot of very important people. And she's done an incredible job. And she has tremendous courage. You know, I have these high-priced lawyers, and they're fine. But they go out, and I say, go speak to the press. And, you know, you have these animals out there. Oh, there they are, right up there. Whoa. These animals out there. They're vicious animals. And these high-priced guys, you know, they're beautiful guys, nice, beautiful suits, everything, nice pay, a lot of money to these people. Go out and speak to the press, sir. I'd rather not. And she goes, I'll do it. And she goes out there, she's fierce. She's a fierce person. And we appreciate it. Alina Habba. Alina, she says, I'll do it, sir, I'll do it. And she goes and she makes the news every night. She makes the news every night, screaming at these maniacs.
What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I need to stop. Bunch of cowards. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.